Welcome back to our Arbitress YouTube channel. Today's class will be learning how to make this beautiful roll collar cape blouse. It's very simple and beginner friendly. If this is what you like to learn, kindly stay till the end of this tutorial. Thank you. To make this roll collar, you need your basic bodice pattern like this. So I have my Princess Dart Buster pattern because this is what I want. So if you don't know how to do this, I have a detailed tutorial on how to do it on the channel. So this is the back panel and this is the front panel. So I already drafted this because I don't want to waste too much time. Now I'm going to be cutting this out, and then we're going to be doing the modifications that we're going to be doing to our neckline. So now it depends on the type of neckline that you want to work with. I have the regular basic neckline here, which is 3 inches by 3 inches for front and 3 inches by 1 inch for the back panel. So if this is okay with you, you can maintain that. But I'm going to be, but for a rolled hem, the neckline for the back is usually a V-shaped neckline, and for the front you can maintain this neckline, but I think I'm going to be going for like a kino neckline or something wider than this because I don't want it this small. So for the neckline, remember I said it's 3 inches by 3 inches that I have here. So I'm going to be extending this by, I can make this maybe 4 inches as against the 3 inches that I have, or 4.5 inches. So let me just do 4.5 inches. So it's going to be a little wide. But if you don't want it too wide, you can maintain 4 inches. So let me just use 4 inches, which is here. And then for the depth, you can maintain the 3 inches that you have here, or you can go deeper. So I'm going to be doing 4 inches by 4 inches, and then I'm going to connect it using my curved ruler. So for the back, remember whatever width that you use for your front neckline has to be the same width you're going to be using for your back neckline, because you're going to be joining them together on the shoulder. So I used 4 inches for my front. So here also I'm going to be extending this by 1 inch, and then I'm going to use 4 inch for my back also. Remember, I'm taking the measurement from where my neckline stops. I'm not entering into the zipper allowance. So this is the zipper allowance here. So I have it like that. And then for the depth of the neckline, remember I said it's going to be a V-shaped neckline. So I'm going to be going for maybe 7 inches or 8 inches, depending on how low you want it to be. So once I have it like that, I'm going to bring in my straight ruler, and then I'm going to be connecting it. So you should not connect it into your zipper allowance because the cape is not going to be reaching your zipper allowance, of course. So now from there, I'm going to be connecting it in a V shape to meet this. So we are done with the neckline modification that we want to do, and I can easily cut this out. So this is my front neckline, and this is going to be my back neckline. So if you check it, you will see that the neckline, the shoulder point matches, because that's why I said you have to use the same width for both front and back, because you are still going to sew them together. So before you can decide I can decide to just cut out my rolled hem neckline here, because that does not actually affect it. So here I'm just going to match my front and back neckline together, and then I'm going to sew it. I'm just going to hold it by like 1/2 inch because I'm going to sew it. So I don't want my collar to be bigger than my neckline by the time I sew. So I'm just going to be folding it 1/2 inch, which I'm going to be using to sew it. You can see the way I'm folding it in. Okay, so this is the 1/2 inch that I'm sewing with. So I have it like this, and remember that I'm still going to sew it. So I'm folding it like this, like I'm sewing, like I've sewn it already. Then you can hold it with a masking tape so that it doesn't shift. Okay, then I'm going to mark out my neckline now. So I've held them together. Now the next thing now is to take the measurement of my round neckline. Okay, so I'm going to be taking it from the center front here to the shoulder, and then back to the back neckline. So using my tape rule now, I'm just going to, I'm folding like this because it's easier for me this way. I'm just going to measure what I have there. So from here now, I'm just taking my tape rule through these necklines, okay, from the front to the back, and then on the back I have around 13 1/4. So this is the neckline that I have to work with. So I have 13 1/4 there. Then I'm going to take a fresh paper and then measure the 13 1/4 that I have as my hemline. I'm going to be adding half inch to it. I'm going to use it to sew it on both sides. So 13 1/4 instead of 13 1/4, I'm just going to be cutting around 14 inches because I'm not going to be sewing it too much. And you know, this 14 inches is just one side of the cape. Okay, remember this is still an half scale body, so it has to be cut on fold so that we can have our full neckline. So I have the 14 inches like that, and then the length of the cape is what you're going to be using to know how high it's going to be. So it depends on how high you want your cape to be. You can do 3, 4, 5 or 6 inches depending on what you want. I'm just going to be doing 5 inches, so I'm just marking the 5 inches. So the cape I have now is 14 inches by 5 inches. I hope you get that. So I have a cape of 14 inches height. The length is 14 inches like this, and the width from here to here is 5 inches, sorry, and then from here to here is 14 inches. So before I cut this off, remember the back neckline is a V-shaped neckline, so that I can have this sharp V, that this design that we normally have behind our V neckline cape. I'm just going to be going outwards here by around 2 inches or whatever you want, and then I hope you can see. So from here I'm going outwards by 2 inches, and then from there I'm going to connect this back to this point. This is the part that I'm going to be sewing to my neckline. I'm going to connect it back like this just to have that sharp V effect. Okay, so this remains 14 inches. The only modification I've done here is on the hemline, which is the one that is going to be falling down, not the one that I'm going to be sewing to my neckline. So now this part here, now I'm going to be cutting it on fold. To cut both, sorry, my marker is not showing well. So I'm going to be cutting that part on fold so that I can cut them together, both sides of the front. So now I'm going to be cutting this out now, and then we'll move over to our fabric to cut out everything. Okay, so I've gone ahead to cut out my main fabric on the Ankara. Then I cut out the dash. We've been doing this severally on the channel, so I don't want this video to be too long. That was why I did this off camera. So we're going to be using this plain doll face fabric for the yoke, for the cape, and this is the cape pattern that we've already drafted. So to cut this now, so that the collar can relax and roll well, we're going to be cutting this on bias. You should not cut this on straight form. Okay, like you cannot place it like this and just cut it on straight like this. We have to cut this on bias, and to cut this on bias, we're going to be putting our fabric on fold in a triangular form. Okay, so this is the fabric. So you just hold it like this. You can see the shape that we have here now, like a triangle. So after putting it on fold on like a triangular form like this, you cannot cut it like this, because remember I said this part has to be cut on fold. So we're going to be putting it on fold again, okay, so that we can cut this part on fold. And this fold point here where we had it folded, that is where this part is going to lie. Okay, so you can see that we have two fold points. We have another fold point here. So this other fold point here is the hemline, so that we're not going to be needing to join the hemline together. Remember, this part is going to be opened because that is what we're going to be sewing to our neckline, so we are not concerned about that. But this part here is what is going to be falling on our blouse, so it has to be closed. So we have this fold point and this fold point. So this part here we're going to be placing it on fold, and this hemline too to be on fold. So I'm just going to be turning it like this, and then I'm going to cut it out. I hope you understand that. So I don't have enough fabric here. I'm just going to open it out and then fold it more, so that I'll have enough fabric to work with. Okay, so I should have enough now, and then I'm going to be placing my pattern on it just the way I explained, and I can see that I have enough now. So I'll just cut it out. So I've cut it out now. I'm just going to notch it at the center point here, and then this is what we have. The both sides are cut together now. And like I said, this is the hemline part. So there is this feeling that you have when you cut your fabric on bias, it even stretches more. This is a doll face fabric, it's actually not stretchy, but you can see how it's just bouncing, so it makes it easier for you. So now the first thing I'm going to do now is to close this V-shaped part. So I'm going to be putting it on fold, right side facing right side like this, and then I'll take it to the machine now and sew this place closed before I turn it out. You can iron it when you finish. And also by the time I finish doing that, I'll also join my basic bodice together, and then I'll join it together just on the neck, on the shoulder point. So I'll join the front and back together on the shoulder, then I'll bring it back for us to continue. Okay, so I've gone ahead to sew it close on both ends like that. Then I'm going to turn it out, so you should give this a good press. I don't have power right now, so I'm just going to continue. So I'm just notching it on this sharp edge so that I can bring it out very well. Okay, then I'm going to turn it out. So you turn it out and you use your awl or your scissors, but you're very careful when you're using scissors to bring out these sharp pointed edges out. So also I've joined my basic bodies now, and then I joined the back and front together on the shoulder. So we have this. So now on this part, this part that is not shaped V, I've notched my center here. So now I'm going to be matching my center to my center front. So we are going to be adding a lining. Like I was saying, if you are going to be adding a lining to this, you fix your cape like this, right side on right side. Then you must have cut your lining the same way and you sew it the same way. Then you sew your cape and then use your lining to turn it out. But I'm not going to be fixing the lining to this. So I'm going to be placing them on the wrong side of my main fabric. I'll match my notches together. So this is my center front, and then I'm going to use my pin to pin the cape round first to be sure that it fits perfectly before I take it to my sewing machine and sew. So now I'll be pinning this round to my neckline, and then I'll take it to the machine now and sew it straight. Okay, so you just keep pinning it like that, and then you check if it fits. So let me just quickly check so that I can do the pinning off camera. So you can see now that it stops exactly where the zipper allowance stops, like this, because I folded in. That's because I don't have excess, because I folded in the ½ inch that I used to join my shoulder before I drafted my cape. So now I'm just going to pin the other side also now, and then take it to the sewing machine now and sew it straight. Okay, so I've gone ahead to sew it now. As you can see, I just sew it to my neckline and the cape fits perfectly. So I'm just going to give it a little notch if you want, so that I can relax well. And then because I'm not adding lining to this, you may want to serge that rough edges. So that I'm going to be turning it over. So once I turn it, you'll see how the color is just going to roll. So you can see it now. It's going to fall on your bodies, and this is the front and this is the back. Okay, so the effect that we created, that sharp V effect, you can see it there. Okay, so these are our two back bodies. This is the zipper allowance and this is it on the front. So because we cut it on bias, that is why it can roll out freely and neatly like this. So now I'm going to take this to my sewing machine now, and then I'm going to be joining it together on the sides. Then you fix your zipper and we'll see what we'll have. Okay, so this is our roll collar, and as you can see how beautiful this is laying, and it just goes continuous to the back like that. Okay, so this is what we'll have on the back. You just need to fix your zipper and your roll collar is ready. You can see how simple it is to draft this, and it's really beautiful. So this is a V-shape effect that I want. So if you want it straight, you can leave it straight. It's not compulsory. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you enjoyed this, let us know in the comment section. Like and comment and subscribe to our channel if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.